Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy TJ Shoemaker here, back again with another episode on the Are You Relevant podcast, the Are You Relevant talk show. Ladies and gentlemen, as you've seen from the title, as you've seen from the thumbnail, we got the one and only kid, the Darrien. Mr. Darrien has solidified himself as a uprising Pro wrestler. Kid Darrien is one of Pro Wrestling's rising stars. I mean, he just recently became the OPRW World Champion, which is something we're about to get into very soon. But folks, kid, how are you doing today? It's a pleasure to have you on.
I'm doing great. I'm glad I'm up here, bro. I'm glad I'm up here. I'm glad. It's been a minute since I did like a podcast. Yeah.
Yes, sir, and we are more than grateful to have you on. Well, this podcast, for folks that's watching, this podcast actually was supposed to happen days ago, but scheduling got, moved around and stuff. But anyways,
My
we're finally back.
bad. My
No, Ken,
bad.
you're good. That was on us. That was on us. You're good, kid.
Yeah.
But Ken, my first question for you, I think it's quite obvious for everyone that is in OPRW. They would know that you just recently won the worldwide championship in OPRW. How does that win feel?
Um, I think, in my opinion, it's the best win of my career because I've been trying to hunt a OPW world title. Like, a lot of people know this. I've been trying to hunt a OPW world title for 3 years. Like ever since 2023, like that has been my main goal in OPW, and I've wanted to prove that like I'm one of the best pro wrestlers, if not the best. I believe I'm the best pro wrestler. And the only way you could really do that is by like, probably holding a OPW world title. And I've done a lot in OPW, but that was like one thing I never did was held a world title. And winning that was very big. I think it's like my greatest win up to date. I don't see anything else topping that.
Yeah, that is a pretty huge accomplishment. So congratulations on that, kid. Another question that I have for you was your Twitter bio. Now, when in the pro wrestling community, kayfabe is a huge and very important thing, and it seems like you have mastered that skill of kayfabe.
Yeah.
And so, for those of you who don't know, Ked's current Twitter bio or X bio is the man became a messiah, the Messiah became a God. Now that right there is that's a scripture right there. Kid, how did you
Yeah.
think of that? What made you think of it?
So a lot of people don't really know that the Messiah and the God character are kind of like two different characters. Like a lot of people just assume they're kind of the same, and it is really not. Um, Up till like late last year in 2035, AMG, like this is like, like when I was just like really had nothing going on as of right now. AMG told me that like I had to switch something up with myself in order for me to like gain that ability to what's it called truly like care, because I feel like once I have a idea of what I want to do with like a character and everything, then I'm going to try my fullest ability to make it work in the best way possible. And the God character, it's been getting a lot of traction. It's been like probably in my opinion one of my favorite characters to do because it's really like awesome to like see everybody interact with it and everything. So
Kid, another question for you. And I'm glad you brought that up because you said this was one of your favorite characters to do. Do you believe there's a difference, or not a difference, but do you believe there is a how could I put this? You have custom pro wrestlers out there with their own gimmicks that they made themselves, and you also have pro wrestlers out there who has or who are like mimicking actual wrestlers in real life, right?
yeah.
Do you which has been better for you, having your own custom character, or of course, the Rollins you're doing the Messiah?
Yeah. Um, I think it's best mimicking, honestly, because it's like it just gets you off to an easy start, and then when you add your own ideas to it and kind of make it your own, it just gets better. Like it just gets 10 times better. Like, and that's what I did when I did the Messiah character. You know, I ended up adding my own type of twist to it, adding my own ideas to it, try to make it much better and trying to make it much different than the actual like Rollins character and in real life. But I definitely say that like mimicking like IRL gimmicks is probably the best thing you could probably do if you want to get a good character.
Hmm. Kid, a lot of people know this gimmick that you're doing, this Rollins gimmick, this Messiah gimmick that you're doing, and some have actually put you in like the top 10, like some of the greatest heels that we have seen in the Roblox wrestling community. Do you agree with that? Do you think you're one of the biggest heels in the community? Do you believe you're a huge draw in the pro wrestling community?
Um, I believe I'm a draw. Character wise with like heel, I do believe that I'm up there depending who I work with. Like if I'm working with somebody that has a huge reaction with the crowd, I believe that I can do the best of my abilities to be a good heel. But like like I definitely do believe I'm one of the best like heels in the community, like character wise, because like a lot of people really don't like me, especially when I'm doing the god character. So it's like I think I could say I'm top 10. I wouldn't go as far as top 5. Yeah, I'll leave that to the community, but I can say I'm maybe like top 10.
You wouldn't go as far as saying that you are top 5. Kid, who do you think is the greatest heel, whether it's past, present, or an upcoming rising star? Who do you believe is or will
Uh,
be the
uh,
best heel of our community?
uh, I think the best heel forever would be AJC, but I definitely do think Matt, he just does it so well. It's like it's so easy to not like Matt. Like he just does it so well. I think honestly, I'll have to put Matt and like maybe AJC, like Matt as like the number one heel. Like I remember like with the whole Apollo thing happening, bro. Like everybody was literally on Matt's head. So it was like I think Matt to me is the best heel we've seen in Pro Wrestling to actually get like a actual like heel type of response from the community. I think AJC as well as second will forever like always be booed no matter what. Like every time like no matter what he just gets booed, bro. So I think that's cool.
Mm. You, of course, not only attend OPRW, but you also attend a multitude of other feds like UAW, um, UWE. Do you have a personal favorite fed, or do you just see every fed that you go to as just another step or another step in your pathway to, being the top guy?
Um my goal is to definitely be the top guy, but I will say favorite wise, like obviously OPRW, but a lot of people don't give RW kind of like the credit it really deserves. Like I have a good time going to RW because it's just so fun going there. Like especially when like I'm actually like Jai actually reached out, actually wanted me to come to his federation, and we just grew as friends and everything. So I definitely think RW is definitely fun to go to because it's like you never know what to expect at RW. They could do anything, and they really built a lot of stars there. So I really do like going to RW mostly.
What? And I don't believe I ever asked anyone this. So this is actually the first time I asked someone this. What, since you do go to both feds, um, what differentiates, or like, what's the huge difference that you've noticed? For example, let's just say going to OPRW and going to RRW. Like, is there a difference? Is there a big difference?
Oh yeah, big difference. I will say that the OPRW like kind of high card, it's very different towards like the RW high card. Like in my opinion, I feel like the RW high card is like not anybody, but I feel like a lot of more people like high mid carders are kind of classified as like high carders in my opinion when I RW, and that's not a bad thing. I think that's kind of cool. As for OPRW, Like to even be classified as like a high carder, it's really, really rare. Like really, really rare. And I'm lucky enough to even still be classified as a high carder at OPRW. So I think that is like a very big difference when heading into both federations.
Hmm. This comes from a guest that was just on our podcast. I believe you know him well, Senior Dylan.
Yo,
Um,
I'm just talking
Senior,
to him.
yeah, Senior wanted me to ask you. He said, um, basically, like, what's your thoughts on him? He has proclaimed himself to being one of Pro Wrestling's current best. Let me repeat that: best rising stars. And since you are at the pillar of the community as of right now, I mean, look at all the different things you've just done, you have done,
Yeah.
and you will do. A legend looking at the future. What are your thoughts on Senior?
I think Senior is cool. Like I think he's really, really cool. And I've seen I heard a lot that he's done. Like I heard he won like the Storm Championship, number one contender and everything. I think it's cool to like have a good mentality to think that you're the number one rising star, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think personally, in my opinion, like and no, and there's no disrespect to Senior, I definitely do believe that Jacob Sinner is the number one rising star right now. Like
Oh
that's
wow.
like the future, like in my opinion. But I think Senior Dylan is right behind him too, and I'm not saying he can't overtake his spot, but I just think for now, Jacob Sinner kind of has like that head start, in my opinion.
Jacob Center is obviously a name that, well, he's been on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, but he's obviously a name that goes around a lot of being exactly what you just said, the best rising star that we have seen. But what is your reasoning for that? Because there are a multitude of different reasons why people choose Jacob Center, why people are constantly bringing him up in conversation. So, Ken, what is your reason for him being your personal best rising star?
Um, Honestly, bro, like he really just stood out, and I personally feel like I've seen him like for the last 2 years. Like I don't know if he was in Center 2024, but I definitely have seen him last year. He was overall grinding, working hard. I've never seen him really complain a lot, and that was like one thing I noticed about him too. Like even when I talked to him, like when I talked to him, I was like, you don't really like complain a lot. Like it be a whole lot of like stuff that be happening. You don't really like kind of like complain on it. You're just like really chill about it. I think Jacob, honestly, with him winning OPRW United States Championship, and I believe like him, he will be like the next rising star if he keeps up the pace he's keeps going. Like I'm surely confident of it because he's still like at the end of the day, he's still matching up to people that are classified as high carders, So
Hmm. That's interesting. Ken, another thing that I wanted to ask you, and this is also another question that I've never asked anyone before, but being in the community, well, you're being in the community for a significant amount of time that you have so far, what is a hot take that you have about pro wrestling
just
in
in,
general that
just
that a
in
lot of
general.
people, yeah, that a lot of people may not agree with, they might not understand, but what is something that you always thought was true or wasn't true or whatever the case may be, and you never, like, no one has ever heard that take.
Um, a lot of people seem to think like there's this like I'm not joking either. There's this like Pro Wrestling Illuminati, and it's like I that's not true at all. And I personally feel like with hard like if you're like I've always said this, bro. Talent always beats like not talent. A session always beats talent. Like if you're really like dedicated, obsessed to the game, well, not really obsessed, but you know what I'm talking about. If you're really like dedicated to the game and actually work hard to like get good at the game, then you're going to like improve. And I can use multiple examples, like my good friend Jay, who like was not seen as like a breakout talent at first. Like even when he was going to WWE, even when they let him on the main roster, he wasn't seen as a like breakout talent until he beat Leroy, and then until he put in like crazy amount of training in the gyms, and then that's how he become who he is today. So
Hmm. You did mention about the Roblox Wrestling Illuminati. If there was a Roblox Wrestling Illuminati and you did know about it, would you tell us?
Hey, bro. Like, I guess we'll never know. Probably not, bro. I don't. I don't. I just don't believe in that, bro. And I just feel like the people that are saying that aren't really hard workers for like aren't really like really trying to better themselves because it's like you're saying that, but it's like probably the average high mid carder that puts in 10 times more like work than you can probably beat you. Like, and it's just like that it is what it is. So,
Hmm. Kid, I think you know the next topic I want to talk about. I think
yeah,
it is very known now. We, I did a video on you, kid, a couple weeks back related to your IWA suspension. Now, IWA is arguably the current best, probably it is the best
number one.
alliance in the community. Um, Suspension of you from the IWA for the reason of you being accused of cheating and also um, accused of account hopping for Chris Lee. Walk us through that. What was going through your mind when you seen the tweet? What was going through your mind when you were suspended, when you were stripped of the belt? What just walk us through that.
Honestly, I thought it was done. Like I thought everything was like over with. Like it. If I not like won OPW Worldwide, I don't think I'll even still be even like allowed to even like compete. I did it because I've had account hop for Chris before at yeah again at an IWA event. I had like I account hop for him in the onslaught. This is like 2 years ago or like a year ago, but I've account hop for him and the macroing situation. A lot of people don't understand that when I fought Leroy for IWAC, like this is like my first title defense, right? I fought Leroy for IWAC. He goes out 6'4", Noah calls for a screen share, and he goes on screen share. I reverse sweep, come back, and I retain my title. And then after the match, I don't know if I'm positive, but I'm pretty sure. Like I can pull up the DM. Hold up. But Noah tells me that Leroy had stuff delete, like he has stuff like missing on his files, and that same day, that's not same day. Well, the next day I fight Leroy again at OPRW for the worldwide championship number one contender. So it's like, okay, there's a good chance that he might cheat against me. So I decided to use a macro, like just a double clicker really, to beat Leroy with. I admitted to using the macro in the base. What's it called? Not IWC, I meant my fault, but what's it called? OPRW match. Luckily enough, they were able to rerun the match, and I was able to go on screen share and beat Leroy without the macro, and then go on to beat Leroy and Zane Ethan to win the OPW Worldwide title. So that's mostly what happened. I just thought I was going because OPW is ending soon, and you got to do what you got to do to try at least like win something, like win the title there. So
Do you believe that that suspension was not necessary, but do you believe that it was valid for them to
oh yeah,
strip you?
most definitely, most definitely.
Mm.
I will say I'm cut from like a different cloth, but had I not got suspended for it, bro, then I definitely feel like it would have caused a lot of chaos for Noah, and I have a much respect for Noah. I don't have any hate bad blood between Noah even stripping him. I've always had respect for Noah, like ever since 2023. I've always had respect and love for Noah. Um, I will say though that like um I will say that the situation at first was going to turn into me getting suspended and stripped over account hopping, which I thought it was dumb, but I didn't really complain about it. than the macro situation, and that like I could understand why they would strip me for that, but I was like kind of upset they were stripping me for the account hop thingy. So
Hmm. Kat, do you believe that account hopping is a bannable action?
I wouldn't say bannable, but I would definitely say suspension between both people that are doing it, because a lot of people don't know how how OP when how overpowered account hopping is. For example, when I was doing Doragon at OPRW, when I was doing Doragon, it was pro wrestling is all about mentality, right? So it's like people get this mentality, oh, it could be Ked, or it could be somebody else. Like, how do I prepare it? Like, how do I fight this? How do I prepare for it? So it's like it's very overpowered when you're expecting something and then you get like something else, like a way big different results than what you were expecting. So I think it's definitely suspendable. Like people should get suspended for it. I don't think anybody should get banned over it though, unless it turns into like some like you get account hop, like you get caught account hopping many times.
What about macroing?
Macroing, I don't want to say this because I got caught, but I definitely don't think macroing is kind of like a big. I do think you should get suspended still, but I don't think macroing is like a big like type of cheat because it's like a double clicker, and I'm still able to lose on like a double clicker, right? Like regardless of me auto clicking or what like macroing whatever, it doesn't change like my aim, my timing, my movement, my distance, all that. It doesn't change that. Like it doesn't at all. Now, it's a difference between like you're constantly macroing, like you're constantly macroing. Like I don't want to throw him under the bus. I love him, but like let's say for example, Fade, like he was like let's say I don't know if he was constantly macroing, but like let's say he was like hypothetically macroing all the time and got really good at it. Like then that becomes to where it's like okay, it's kind of unfair, but it's still kind of beatable. So
Hmm. Kid, I was recently informed, and um, I was when I first heard it, I was like, "Oh my god, that's gonna be huge!" In just 2 days, kid, you will face off against one of my best friends here on Discord, Gent Breaker, who is the current UWE Undisputed Champion at the UWE's Chase the Case pay-per-view. Now, this is going to be a big money match, obviously. I mean, you have two prominent Raw wrestlers who have solidified themselves and cemented their legacy in the Raw wrestling community. This is essentially something like this is literally Rollins and Breaker in real life. And so this Friday, actually, at 4 p.m. EST, Jen Breaker will be defending his championship against you in a singles match for 7 falls. What is going through your mind right now with only 2 days left?
um, he's a really cool guy. I really like Gent. I still believe I'm gonna win. Like there's a lot of holes in Gent, like even attire play style that I could probably like get out of him. But I believe I'm going to win. I think he's really great though. I think he's like a really great competitor. He beat what's it called Axel. Axel's really like when I mean Axel's tough. I think Axel's really good. I think Axel, in my opinion, is like besides Apollo, I think Axel, in my opinion, is the best GNT Royal wrestler right now. So yeah.
Mm, okay, okay. That's a huge match to look forward to. That is most certainly a huge match to look forward to. Speaking of opponents, Kid, who has been your most toughest opponent that you've been against so far?
Um, Probably Jay. I don't think anybody like else would give me the amount of problems than it was with Jay because it's like nobody's perfect, but he's like close to like perfect in every aspect of like pro wrestling. Like, for example, like aim, timing, movement. Like, if you think you got to beat him in one category, then there's like so many other categories that he has that is just like makes him really hard to beat. I've only beat him like one time out of that, and that was ECCW, and that was about it.
Mm. Kid, man, you have done a lot in this community. And I personally will be there in attendance for that match against Jen because, like I said, that's a big money match. There's a lot of eyes that will be on that match, kid. I know I've been hogging all the questions, so I'm gonna let Miggy. He had a lot of really good questions he wanted to ask you, so I'm gonna let Miggy take over.
What's up, Mickey?
Yo, all right. I just say I actually never knew Axel was a GMT, but other than that, um, first of all, I just wanted to ask, from your personal opinion, what so far has been your favorite moment in your career so far?
Um, would you classify like moment as a like match or like what would you classify as that?
It could be like a match, it could be like a title win, something like that.
Um, I definitely would say that my favorite moment, in my opinion, was definitely like when I won, like as of right now, when I won the IW championship, and then I won the RW Royal Rumble, like I beat Michael Maverick, I beat Jordan Saber Jr. Then I beat what's it called and I won the Royal Rumble. Then I think that was just like me going 3 for 3 was just like so cool because it's like a lot of eyes were on me, and then like a lot of people realized that what's it called, like I'm for real, like this is for real. So
Well, that's all right. Uh, what do you think is your biggest accomplishment in your career?
I said earlier, I said what's it called OPRW Worldwide, in my opinion, is like probably my best title win overall. I don't think anything would change that. Maybe like if I win like Champions Cup or the RWA Championship, but like the feeling of like being OPW World Champion, like when it just hit, it was just crazy. It was like I finally did it. So
Yeah. All right. So I heard you talked a lot about like how your heel worked and stuff like that. So I wanted to ask, from your opinion, who has been like your favorite person, like kayfabe wise, that you have worked with, and from your opinion?
easily Justice League brings out the best of me every time we're in a field together. Like when we did our feud at LWA, it was like one of my favorite, if not the my favorite feud like of all time because it was like so much we did, and like even like the entrances and like the build up to it, everything we did was just so cool. And like even when I rewatched the match, and even though I lost, like it's something that still like makes me like smile because it's like I got that main event at LWA, and I did it, like I got it and I lost, and I wasn't like, of course I was upset, but I wasn't like sad about it because it's like it was a really good match, and it was like something that was worth the build up to. Like the build up was worth it. So
And by any chance, was that your favorite match that you have also been in, or
um I would have say favorite. I would say my favorite match I've been in probably was I would definitely say let me think. Probably one of my EWE matches. I think when I when I fought I was doing Baron Slayer, there was this guy named QT Dalton, and we had a good feud for what's it called? A good feud for the United States title. And we had a line, like we had a I think it was either a Lions Den match or it was a fight pit. It was a fight pit match, I'm pretty sure. And
yeah,
when we did it, it was pretty cool. It was like I loved that. I think that's one of my favorite matches doing like here. So
yeah. All right. So another question is, who, from your opinion again, who is someone you think you have learned a lot from in this community?
I would definitely say like learning a lot from. I would want to say maybe I'll probably say maybe Chris Adams. Like Chris Adams taught me, not Adams Lee, Chris Lee. He taught me a lot. Rose Adams. Then also like unfortunately to say his name, Caden Jersey. But I learned a lot like from them overall. So I think they helped me became the person I am today. So
Yeah, that. Oh well. Again, I want to touch on the topic that TJ already brought up about the your IWA suspension. Because I wanted to ask why did you macro, and did you think that you had to macro in that situation?
I think in that situation, I had to because it was just the thought of like me losing due to somebody like possibly cheating. So it was like I didn't want to do it as well. Like I didn't want to do it, but at the end of the day, like if I'm getting told somebody had like missing files on their computer, then I have to fight them like again the next day at like the number one Fed. Then it's like I it's just like mandatory, not mandatory really, but it's also like I don't want to lose. Like I don't want to lose, especially when OPRW is like on the verge of like ending, and I have like limited amount of shots I could get. I don't want to lose. Like I really didn't want to lose that. So
Yeah. So this is an interesting question I came up with, but realistically, like from your opinion, no biasness, where would you rank yourself in the community?
right now,
Yeah, currently.
um, honestly, like in my opinion, I think I'm number one, but I really think like from a personal standpoint, like because my mind is telling me I'm like number one, like I'm number, and I've done a lot to prove it. But if I had to go off a ranking right now, it'll probably be Matt Ashford, Reborn, me, Zane Ethan, and then like um I want to say Justina. I'd say Justina right there. That's my current top five in my opinion of like the community right now.
I do want to
So
hold on, Megan. I do want to step in really quickly. Kid, you mentioned Matt Ashford, and I forgot to touch on this when I was asking you questions. Matt Ashford, obviously, one of the greatest stars we have seen in pro wrestling, is about to go head to head in about a month or so from now against one of probably the best Lexner gimmick we have ever seen in pro wrestling. Z.E. Lexner at the final OPRW WrestleMania, March 21st and 2nd. It will be the match where the revolution ends. Now, of course, you do have experience with both Z.E. and Matt Ashford. And of course, they will be facing off for the OPRW Championship. Not only that, both men will be putting their careers on the line. First to 10 rules, and it's going to be in Toronto, Canada. Obviously, Lexington's from Canada, so or he lives in Canada primarily. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, Ken, what's your prediction? I want to get your prediction personally.
Um, Man, that's a hard question. I fought both Matt and ZE, and I could tell you this that like I feel like it's gonna be very close than a lot of people really think. Um, I think I have Matt winning due to the fact of like the way ZE plays. I don't think Z is not gonna like be able to match the style of what Matt is like, playing. So it's like I think honestly, what's it called? I think honestly, I got Matt winning against the at Mania.
Wow. Matt Ashford winning at Mania. I I don't know. That's gonna be a hard battle. I'm definitely gonna be in attendance for that. That's gonna be a banger match. A banger match. Hopefully I get the opportunity to commentate that match because that would be an honor. But anyways, Miggy, That was the last time I was going to interrupt you. My bad. I'll let you finish your questions.
All right. So, we talked a lot about, and you mentioned yourself how you feel like you currently are number one and you have the accolades to back it up. So, I wanted to ask, how much time left do you think you have in the community?
Um, a lot of people ask me this. I necessarily don't believe in retirement, but I do believe in like just hiatus. Like I will say, I think I got at most 1 to 2 more active years before I really like descend into like kind of like a part time like type of role. I think that's where I can do mostly like maybe 1 to 2 full years of being active wise. Then I can like descend into maybe like part timer or whatever. I think I can probably do 2 more years active.
Well, this is like, all right. This is another question I had. From your personal opinion, because I've known you. You've been using two names, I believe.
Mhm.
You've been in Jersey. And then now you're using Darrien. So I wanted to ask, from your opinion, like from current, like how people currently like do, is joining plans worth it, or is using someone else's name like good for them?
It really depends. This is why characters are so important because characters alone make you stand out. Like, when I was doing Jersey, I was kind of doing the same thing Caden was doing, like the Punisher gimmick and everything. And I didn't really stand out until I kind of did the Messiah character. That's when I kind of like stand out and I was like winning everywhere. So I think joining the same clans is it bad? Like obviously I think it would be better if you like do it your own, but I definitely do think if you have like a really good character to separate yourself from like the original people in your clan, then it's like it's worth it in my opinion. Like I'll do an example for Calm like really wanted to be an accent. Like he really wanted to be an accent. And I asked Seth and he said he could be in. The one thing that separates him between Darren and what's it called, Seth and Aiden is that like his character, like he's a night wolf. Like he has a really good character. He like every time you see him, it just feels different instead of when you see Seth or when you see Darren or when you see Aiden. So
Mm, yeah. So this is my second to last question. So I wanted to ask you personally, how did you get to where you are? Like it could be skill wise, like accomplishment wise. Like what did you do to like better yourself in this community?
I will say that it definitely took a adapting to a lot of situations and to a lot of play styles. It definitely did took a while because at the time when I was in Jersey, Kaden only really just gave me tips and everything. It was like it wasn't really a lot that I can really like do like when I was in like Jersey because I was still rising and everything. And I was in Jersey in probably like the worst year to wrestle 2022 when everybody was literally cheating. So it's like like the best thing I was able to do is like adapt to like and just fight counters like and I've said this before because again I was never considered like a a great talented star like I was considered a rising star of course but I will say like when I was like rising up like rising up in 2022 nobody saw me as like this future high Carter ready to bloom. Maybe like they saw me as like maybe a mid Carter, high mid Carter, everything. Until I transformed into the Messiah and like really like worked on my in ring skills and everything. I just blossomed. I just like it just went on from there. And I've said this many times. I said a session beats talent. Like no matter like how good you are, no matter what people say about you, probably the hardest worker can probably beat you. So and it's been proven time and time again here. So
Well, my last question was not really a question, but I usually always end it off at this. And I always like to ask if you could give like one piece of advice, what would you give to people?
Um, you gotta like you gotta fail to really understand how to like move on and accept most things. Like I think a lot of people like get this like vision of like them failing, like losing a match, and they just want to leave. They don't want to experience it ever like again. And it's like eventually you have to lose to understand like something of what you did wrong. Eh, like there's so many times I've lost so many matches, like the James match, like that was probably like my worst like loss like ever in my career. But I've learned so much from that. Like now it's like I don't like I've learned a lot from that match because I lost. And maybe had I like won, which would have been great and everything, I would have really realized a lot in this community. But you gotta be ready to accept failure when it's there, because a lot of people just refuses to like accept failure, refuse to like backpedal and like work on themselves. So
Wow,
Well,
kid. Um, you actually be the first guest on the channel that would do this, but we are going to go to a different segment in the podcast before we wrap up here, which is going to be the
okay,
hot fire questions. You're going to have about 6 or 7 seconds to answer
all
these,
right, bro.
all right,
these rapid
all right,
fire questions I got for you. Are you ready?
all right, ready.
Bet. Here we go. Starting off with this one, current best fit,
Opera W,
breakout fit of the year.
Elite,
Who do you think would be the breakout World Wrestler of 2026?
Jaco Center,
Best Pro Wrestling Alliance currently.
IWA,
Least favorite Pro Wrestler.
um, you are the
Yeah.
goat.
I'm not going to speak too much on that. And lastly, but not least, kid, it's in the name. Are you relevant?
Indeed, indeed, I am relative. I am relative. Indeed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast, kid. We got talked about so much. We got a lot of stuff cleared up, and I'm super grateful and appreciative of you giving us your time. And it was an absolute wonderful
Appreciate,
talk that we
appreciate it.
had.
This is fun. This is fun. I really like doing this.
Yes, sir. We were glad to hear that, folks. If you guys did enjoy this episode and you want to see more of these type of episodes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And again, we cannot thank you guys enough. Of course, thanks to my co-host Maggie. He's been doing an incredible job with the research and all that he does for Are You Relevant. And of course, thank Ked Darrien for giving us his time. But we're gonna be signing off for now. We will see you guys on the next episode. It's your boy TJ Shoemaker signing off.